Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today this video has been a bit delayed, but it is my DC Pen Show haul. Since this year was my second year at the pen show, I really felt like I had a better idea of how the event would go, my expectations, and a better game plan for what I wanted to get out of the show as far as purchases and any other activities at the pen show. This year, Sandy and I decided to go on Friday, and we also decided this very last minute. Actually, this year we weren't even planning on going to the pen show, especially with Stationery Fest in Brooklyn, which I was really hoping to attend, but this year just didn't work out since I have my newborn at home and a toddler. But hopefully if they continue to have it, I will definitely like to go next year. And because of that, we decided, you know what, this year we're not going to the DC Pen Show. However, once the weekend rolled around, we made a snap decision to just go. And that was because we decided this year, let's just go on Friday. We'll pay a little bit more for the ticket, but we'll be able to get in a little bit earlier than the public admission, and kind of just go to the brands that we had on our wish list and find those items that we were really looking forward to purchasing. So my goal this year was more so not to like experience it like I did last year, it being my first time. This year was more just specific purchasing goals in mind and seeing specific items and brands. So with that said, that's why I also didn't really film much. I was really just focused on purchasing things and really looking at items and brands that I'd had on my list that I can't really experience in person. So it's a little bit different this year, but I think it was also a very positive experience, and it was fun for us with this different perspective. I think the first year for me, last year, was also really fun, but it was also very overwhelming. Anyway, let's get on with what I purchased at the DC Pen Show. The first item is a pen, and honestly, it is a pen that I didn't expect to even see or purchase at the pen show. So one of the brands that I was really excited to see at the pen show was Nagasawa, and I really wanted to try out some of the inks and also see what special pens they would be bringing to the pen show. I was really bummed that I did not take advantage when Yoseka Stationery had released some of the limited edition Nagasawa collaboration Decimo pens in the Kobe Gradation, and I saw that a lot of people were reselling them. They sold out super quick. It was a collaboration that you can't normally get in the US, and so I wanted to go to the Nagasawa table with that pen in mind, although I was not expecting to really see it at the show because I knew that it was a limited edition. It was pretty much sold out everywhere, and so I had low hopes that they would even have one. Well, the first thing I saw when I walked up to the booth was the pen, and there were only 3 of them, and one was with the gold trim, this one, and the other 2 were the silver trim. I'd been looking for this one in the gold, and so I figured it was fate. I knew I had to get it. The nib size was an EF, which I really do not like in Decimo or Vanishing Point. I just really, it's too scratchy for me and too and not juicy enough for my writing taste. So I was a little hesitant because I didn't love that, but I figured I needed to just pick it up, otherwise it would be gone. So I did purchase this amazing limited edition. This is the Nagasawa Kobe Gradation pen, the Decimo pen, in Kaigan Stone Gray. So you can see the gradation. It's based on the Kobe inks. 59 is the darker one, and then the lighter one. This was my first purchase of the pen show, and I was so excited. So with this, Nagasawa also gave, with purchase, a uni Jetstream, which with their like logo, so cute, and these lovely washi tape that have the Kobe ink bottles and I guess like ink swatches here. So cute. And one of their pins, I've seen this on their social media. I think they came out with these pins that you can actually buy on their website with different colors based on their ink. So mine is like this deep gray, which is kind of boring but very cute. So love those free goodies, and I did pay a little bit more than like Yoseka was selling them for, but because I was not expecting this and there aren't really any on sale right now, I just picked it up, and it was only like a couple dollars more than what the original price online was. So super happy about this. This was an extra fine nib, and I was not very happy about that, but thankfully I did have an appointment with CY for other pens that I was hoping to get ground, so I just took that opportunity with him to see if he could tune this nib from an extra fine, and he actually made it so much better. I had just asked him to make it a bit more juicy, a bit more smooth, and he really delivered. Now this pen writes like a fine, and it is pretty juicy, which is something that I just love. So I'm really thankful. Thank you, CY, for helping me with this, and I'm just so happy with this pen. I've already started using it a ton, and that's why I didn't show the packaging and all of that, but it was just your usual Pilot packaging. I'm just really happy that I was able to find this and purchase it and now have it in my collection. Here's a quick comparison of the Pilot Decimo next to its counterpart, the Vanishing Point. The Decimo is the smaller model, so it is a bit slimmer in width. And then the Vanishing Point is the larger model, so it is a bit wider than the Decimo. I normally just prefer Vanishing Points over the Decimo because I like larger pens overall, and the Vanishing Point just feels better in my hand. Previously, I just didn't love Decimo pens, but I think the slimmer profile and the feel has grown on me, and so I don't mind it as much. It's still really comfortable, and the width difference compared to the Vanishing Point is really minimal, so it is more of a personal preference. The next item is also a pen. It's one that I have been contemplating for a while, and basically it was at the top of my list because it was going to be my birthday pen. August is my birthday month, and so I figured I would treat myself to a gift, and that gift being a special fountain pen. And I didn't even expect to buy it from the DC Pen Show, but another story that it worked out that way, and I got the one that I was thinking about for my birthday present. So that's what this next one is, and it's from Leonardo. Already the packaging just impresses me so much. It just feels luxurious. I don't own any Leonardo pens, so that's why this one was also very special as well. And here it is. So gorgeous. So the story behind this pen is I was looking at this specific design. This is the Abalone Momento Magico, and this I guess pattern of the pen, the Abalone, was supposedly a special collaboration with Atlas Stationers, And so I had been looking at it for months, deciding if I should purchase it because I just really loved the design of the pen in terms of, you know, this beautiful like marbled opalescent style. And it came in a like a black nib and a rose gold nib with also the hardware to match. And I initially was thinking I would purchase it from Atlas Stationers, and I originally had my eye on the rose gold one. Now I went to the Leonardo table not expecting to find this exact pen, but really more so to just try them out in general because I've never seen a Leonardo pen in person. I've only seen them online and really loved just the way they look and just like the various designs and things like that. I wanted to test out how it felt because they did look a little bit larger compared to other pens. I also really wanted to try out the nib because they also do a specialty nib, which is their elastic nibs, which are essentially a flex nib but has a bit more, I guess, pullback so that it's more like an everyday type of nib, so it's not super flexy. And I really wanted to try them out because they have the elastic nib in fine and extra fine, and so I knew I wanted to purchase an elastic nib. I just didn't know which like size, and also in general just wanted to see what the difference of and how it felt. So I went to the Leonardo table with that in mind, and also just in general to look at the different pens, and I saw the exact abalone pen that I had been looking at online for months. And so I was a bit taken aback because I thought it was only an Atlas Stationer's exclusive pen, and they were selling it for like $50 cheaper at the pen show. So I inquired about it, and apparently Leonardo, as well as a lot of other pen brands, they make show-specific pens to sell in person at the show. Now, for those of you who might be more seasoned, like fountain pen lovers and maybe more knowledgeable than I am, I don't really know what the difference is with show pens. I don't really believe that the quality is any different or the materials are any different. For the Leonardos at least, the only difference I can tell is that they have a special band here that their normal pens, it's more like thin bands. This one is just one solid thick band, and that kind of delineates the show pen versus the regular Leonardo retail pen. For me, that's not really anything that would put me off the pen. And so for me, what I think at least maybe for Leonardo's, is maybe they just utilize additional like pen bodies in that style or pattern or what have you to create just like exclusive pens for when they're at pen shows. So that was the case for the Abalone, and then I know they had a few others that I've seen online that were also show exclusive ones. So the other thing is that I was really wanting a Leonardo Momento Magico model. And so Leonardo in general kind of sells like two styles of pens. The Magico is this one where it is a piston filler. So this is the piston filler, and with the piston filler you have this ink window, which is really nice because you have that and it's concealed by the cap, which is super nice. The other general style that they sell is the Momento Zero, and that one is a converter fill pen. So I knew I had wanted the Magico, and the funny thing is the Abalone pen from Atlas Stationers is not a Magico. It is not a piston filler one. It's actually a converter one, so it's a Momento Zero. And like, how perfect is that, that the show one that I saw in the abalone style was only a Momento Magico. So I knew another crazy story at this pen show this year. I knew I had to get this one. It was about $50 cheaper. It was in the Magico model that I liked. And so it was another fate story. So I ended up trying all the nibs, and with Leonardo, which is awesome, you can pick basically any pen you like and whatever nib you like, and they will just add it to the pen. So I decided to go with the Elastic Extra Fine. I really love the way it writes. It is so fun and unique to use, and unlike anything I have in my current collection. And the other thing is, I was still deciding between the rose gold hardware and black tinted gray kind of hardware. Definitely more on the silver side. And the nib, I didn't think I was going to get the black nib, but I did get the black nib. And so yeah, this one is just very special, and I haven't even had time to ink it up and use it yet, but I cannot wait. I'm so happy and pleased with this purchase. It made my pen show. This definitely exceeded my expectations from the day. If getting that limited edition pilot like started off the day perfectly, this one basically ended it on an amazing note. So love this, and I'm just so excited to start using it. So then I stopped by the Dromgoole's table and picked up some extra 6mm grid ruled refill inserts, and this one I split with Sandy, so we basically just got one of these refills and counted, and I ripped out some and split it with her. So always great to have a stationary friend where you can split things together, and that's in the Bible size. And then I also picked up the Fastener Case, the zip, basically a zip pouch for my Bible size plotter. This one is like always in and out of stock online, so when I saw it in person, I just picked it up because I knew it's a little bit harder to find online at times. And I don't know, it was kind of an impulse buy, and I know this is going to make my plotter thicker, which is kind of against the point, and I don't even know what I really want to store in the zip case, but I had to have it, and I guess having the option is a good thing, so that's that. Every year at the DC Pen Show, which normally it's kind of like this at any pen show, I think, there is an ink of the year, and at the DC Pen Show it is always by Monteverde, and so we stopped by their table, and normally they're only supposed to give this out beginning on Saturday, but the man at the booth was super nice, and he actually gave us each one of the ink bottles for this year. It is called Purple Diamond, so I expect it to be a purple blue. I haven't even had a chance to swatch it. Last year the color was Viva Magenta, which was more like a reddish, I don't know, with pink undertones. Not my favorite. I haven't really even used this, but not really sure why they made the packaging so much duller looking. The labeling, I guess. I don't know. I prefer this one. But yeah, the special show ink for this year. And apparently people in DC go crazy over this every year. So that's why the guy at the booth was kind of being secretive, because he said, oh, you know, if other people find out that I gave this to you early, they're gonna go crazy. I don't really get it, but yeah. And we stopped at the Toyooka Craft table, and last year I picked up the pen drawer, which I love, still love and use all the time. And I also picked up the one pen stand last year. This year I decided to go with a 2-pen stand because I just really loved this like almost deep mahogany colored wood. that they had this year in the pen stands, and finally just gave the single pen stand that I had to my husband. So now this one is on my desk and I love it. So the only other thing that I got was basically just the nib grind session with CY. The initial pen that I wanted to get ground when I booked the session was my Pilot Heritage 912 pen, and I have this in the Falcon or FA nib, which is a flex nib, which is great for calligraphy. But I wanted to have this nib be a flex for calligraphy practice and like embellishments when journaling, but also have the option to have it be more of like a daily writer as well. And the FA nib is really, really flexy. Like, you can't really use it for anything else. And so that's why I asked CY to see if he could do something to that to make it also have the option of being a daily writer. And he said it was doable. What he did was basically bend down the nib so that now it's like curved downwards, and that allows it to also have a bit of a thinner ability to just like write as a daily pen. I'm really happy with the way it came out because now I can use this pen in more ways than I was using it, so very happy with that. And like I said before, I had CY grind this pen, which I didn't plan on. So I had brought some other nibs that I was thinking if he had time he could grind, but because this one definitely needed it, this one was my other pen that I had him. This one he just tuned, and like I said, now it writes like a fine and it is so good. So I am so thankful that he was able to make this into a nib that I will definitely enjoy and use. I've already been loving it so much. So it's basically a custom EFF type nib. So there you have it, my very small but very sweet DC pen haul. I think if anything I learned a lot from going back to the DC pen show this year, and I realized that now that I've been to pen shows before, having a game plan is really important. Knowing which brands or products you want to see or have in mind on your wish list going beforehand is really key. If you don't want to get overwhelmed and you want to kind of stick to a plan, it's really helpful and made things a lot less stressful and overwhelming for me personally. And I think I accomplished my goals and got a lot out of the pen show this year in a different way than I did in the first year. In my first year, I really wanted to experience it all, including attending that podcast with the Golden pens and doing my first nib grind. This year was more of like a experience in the sense of knowing the items that I wanted and getting to test things out as well. So I think if Stationery Fest is going to be held next year, I might go to Stationery Fest over the DC Pen Show. But with that said, I know that there were so many more attendees at Stationery Fest than DC Pen Show, and maybe in that case it would also be a good idea to go to the pen show because there are less people but the same brands, or most of the same brands that go to both events. So if there's something that I have in mind, such as that limited edition Decimo from Nagasawa, I will have a better chance of finding something like that at the DC Pen Show to purchase, rather than Stationery Fest, where there's probably slim to none chances that I'd be able to purchase something like that. So just some food for thought. I think when the date next year comes closer, because these events were like a week apart, or days apart, that's when I'll consider it more and just think about it. But overall, the DC Pen Show this year was great, and it actually made me feel better that I couldn't attend Stationery Fest, so there's that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.